very special day today. We're going to get to interview the members of the Septuagint Band. So we are looking forward to that. And with that, we have Erik and Dwight, Erik Emerson and Dwight Davis. Hey guys, welcome.
Greetings to you, Jeremiah.
Good to see you, Jeremiah.
All right. All right, very good to see y'all. We're having a bit of a reunion here, so it's been good to see Erik and Dwight. Many of you familiar with 153 Great Fish, you know Dwight's face. So great to see these guys. So Erik, we'll start with you. If you could just tell us about how you came to the Lord. You know your background. I guess we were talking earlier. I remember the heavy metal lifestyle was something that you were in. So
yeah, when I was a young man, the world showed me a lot of things, especially idols like the band Korn when I was growing up, and I was just like, man, these guys are great. They look awesome. I wanted to idol myself behind those guys. So I've been wanting to be a musician ever since. So I tried to learn the guitar, everything else. Ran into a couple of friends. You know, they knew like Tommy, bass player that I used to play with, and the older I got, I went through high school, met a couple other friends. We put this band together named Stux, and played with them for a while. Loved that style of music forever. And then went through high school playing with them, and a couple things happened in my life where kind of on my own after high school. So my friends are pretty much my life, and that kind of lifestyle that goes with that when you're a young man. And was playing with them for a while, and then all of a sudden, you know, I got a job at Walmart, and I ran into this young man named Jeff Contreras. I remember running into him and saying, I know you believe in God, but I don't, so don't talk to me about it. But what's funnier about that is that actually I worked at Stay right before that. I ran into his brother once, so clearly the Lord was trying to talk to me or get my attention somehow.
right.
But then I go to Walmart, and then, like I said, I ran into Jeff. You're Juan Contreras' brother, right? Yeah. Well, you're into God, like him, yeah. It's like, well, don't talk to me about it because I don't believe. He's like, all right, man. He was cool like that. He was smart. But then I would always ask the questions, like, not that I care, but what's the Lord say about this? You know, all smooth like that. You know, but the Lord was obviously working on me through that whole time. It took me a while. But then he got me into a Bible study, and I was like, why what he's talking about is affecting me? Like, why is it's just crazy because, like, I used to be drugged to church all the time with my parents. I couldn't stand it. That's what young kids do. But something he was talking about was truth. It felt like it. And I'm just like, why? Because I could do Bible studies for an hour, and then I would think about the Lord, like, after that, like, something else to it. You know, and the more and more that we had Bible studies and talked about it took about 2.5 years to finally get me into a service. And I get in there, and who's the pastor? Dwight Davis. You know, and it's funny because what got me into like to it too is I was scared of Revelation and end times, you know, so I was got a little scared about it. And Dwight, you know, and him, he'd like to talk sermons about that too. So it really got me in tune. So I'd be going and everything else. And over time, finally, I remember walking through shoes at Walmart, and God told me, you need to get baptized. Okay, Lord, you got it. Whatever you say. I was at that time. And then I remember going to the church, and then Dwight baptized me, Jeff being there, a couple other people. And it was the greatest experience. I can't even explain it. It was, if there was something before sin, their sin was something, and I got baptized and I came up and started speaking in tongues, that was gone. I don't know what sin was or whatever, but I felt light, and I just felt like I could float. I remember saying that. It was crazy. And there and out, I just knew like God was real. Like this speaking in tongues it's for everyone. You know, it's for everyone. And I experienced it, and it was just awesome. And then I did that for a while. You know, I you know, some people do. You know, I went to church for a little bit, and then I backslid for a little while. And the Lord was kept on, you know, getting at my heart again, tugging. And then I started coming back in, and Dwight really helped me with a lot of, I think, the music. Like, he was accepting to my metal music, and like I said, it was odd for him to like join. Like, if no one else is going to join him, I'll help him out. we'll play some of this metal music in God's name, Jesus' name. So then we formed the band Septuagint, and just God took over with that, helped me grow in the Lord and discipleship from Dwight. It was just great. And like I was saying before, and I even think like Dwight and even Jeff has said this in the past, like me being in that band and help growing through and getting closer to the Lord, if I wouldn't have done that, I might not have stuck around that second time. So that was huge for me. The growing of my fruit, like me getting closer to God and everything else. So but yeah, we wrote some great songs, and the Lord was all in control of that, and it was just an awesome experience. So
Yeah, it was really neat, as I was around when that was happening. And to your point, now were you guys originally called Septuagint? I thought at one point.
we threw out a couple of names out there.
Yeah.
It was Dwight, what was it? There was something like it's like either Greek or Hebrew for speaking in tongues, like glossolalia or something, or something, and I don't know, just Septuagint just started, like, that one stuck around, like we kept going back to that one. Because I remember us even labeling a CD with a different band name on it. And then we were just like, oh, wait a minute, we'll have it Septuagint, LXX, I think it was. And we stuck with that. So
Yeah, it's catchy, that's for sure.
it is.
I kind of remember I thought you guys had Old Testament at one point was the name. And then Erik, you're like, I'm not old, but
oh, maybe, yeah. Because we even talked about even 66 books and everything else. We just kind of threw out some catchy names out there and everything else, but that's the one that stuck. So
yeah. So Dwight, so Erik comes to you, and does, talks about the music. I mean, so, you're, what kind of, was your take on it? Obviously, you're the vocals. You guys work together to come up with the songs, and ultimately record them. But, what was your motivation?
Well, from my point of view, was quite a big age difference between Erik and myself. I think we started working together. Erik, how old are you now?
I am 38 now.
So Erik was 28 or 26, let's say, and it's about 12 years ago. And I was 53. So when I had a lot of young people that came into the church, and Erik was one of them. And I just thought that to help Erik, somebody needed to do music with him so he could use his talent for God. Well, what we found out, or what I found out, was that his genre of music, about half the people hate it. And but I didn't, because I was an old school rocker from the 70s. And so I thought, well, I knew I wasn't the best singer, but I knew that somebody had to step up. And I felt like this is an opportunity to disciple a young man. And that's why I did it, got involved with him. And but then I found out that he was so marvelously talented. He could, he would just listen to something, and all of a sudden he'd create this beautiful music, and I liked it. But I knew there were people that didn't like that style, that genre. But the issue was that our lyrics were always godly and Christian. Okay, it was just that people who are stuck in that Southern gospel mode, they just had a hard time believing that genre could be used to glorify God. And we found out that was not true. In fact, there is a group of people that really relate to that kind of music. So that's kind of like my angle to this story. So.
Yeah, you definitely, you bring up a good point. I always liked the music you guys are playing. When I was in the world, young man, I was listening to Metallica and Nirvana and at one point Megadeth, because part of just being rebellious, but I was an atheist too, so, or at least on my path to that. So I just figured, hey, this stuff's awesome, just listen to it. But of course, now it's not the case. But that style of music, and again, it's the words that really matter. and you guys had some amazing lyrics. How did you come up with those lyrics? I mean, if folks
Well,
listen to the lyrics, it's just you can tell God's with it. So
well, the way that it worked was we would meet at the church. I don't know what days it was. Did we meet there Wednesdays? I'm not sure, but Erik would show up, and we had a drum and bass machine. Okay, and there were like 1,000 different drum and bass lines, and Erik would dial through those and pick up a beat that he liked, and pretty soon he's writing a melody with his guitar. And then while he was doing that, he'd get something going, and I would sit down with the Bible and pray and start writing lyrics. It would, it's not like it would come instantly. But a lot of those lyrics, like most things, have to be massaged. And Erik would keep working on his guitar. And then what Erik would do was he had to, because there was only two of us and I didn't play an instrument, Erik would have to write multiple parts. So not only would he have to write a rhythm melody, he'd also have to write some leads and some different aspects to the music. So, I mean, and that's pretty much how it worked. Within 2 hours, we'd have a song. We'd then record it. And we had an interesting experience one time when we were recording with the church sound system, is that all of a sudden a third voice showed up over the sound system.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, a third voice. It was really unusual. So it was like an angel was singing along with us, and we looked at each other. Our eyeballs got big, and it was
serious. I remember this like yesterday. He's like, "These are angels." This happened. I heard it too. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was otherworldly, And the thing is, that angel was singing on key too. So
yeah.
Yeah, so then you guys you did a studio session. As a matter of fact, it was just up the street from where I lived. One day Dwight had called, and we had met a guy who had a recording studio just up the street from us. And I think, Dwight, you just asked, "Hey, anybody that does recording?" I'm like, I got a business card in my hand, and and went from there. So remember, you guys were up the street there at that studio, and I remember coming in and seeing some of the sessions. So so how was that? I mean, tell us about that.
go ahead, Erik.
Yeah, good old Steve Stamberski. Yeah. Yep. That was we had a lot of fun in that studio. I think it was really cool how it all set up, because it was like you go in there, you do your recordings. I'll lay down my tracks. I think first, like my guitar track, my rhythm, and then my leads, and then Dwight coming in there and doing his lyric. But what was so cool is like this is all glory to God, and this is how it worked out, because like I appreciate Dwight saying I'm really talented, but God really helped me out with that talent, gave that to me. And when I go in there and write those, I remember recording those rhythms, and when I lay the leads on top of them, I don't know how they'd sound, but I said, this would probably sound pretty cool. And then I'd lay them on top of each other like, wow, Lord, that's awesome, man. You wrote that. That's sweet, and that's how we'd do it. And then Dwight would go in there and start singing, and not only like it, it just helped us get closer to God, or just helped my ministry too, but the guy that was doing it, Steve, too, that was a witness to him, because there's some times in there when Dwight would start singing, and then I know he'd feel the Holy Ghost. And like I was saying before, like we wrote, my personal favorite is our Vines of Tender Grapes. Man, that song, I love it.
That's my least favorite song.
I know, that's what it says, and I love it. But then Steve drummed to that song, and it was
you're right about that. He did drum to that. He was a talented man.
He was a really good recording guy, especially for being as small as he was. He didn't have the greatest equipment, but like he knew how to use it. Like he was really good. So like
he listened to Erik play that on acoustic, and he wanted to join in, and so he did the drum track on that, and really it added a lot to that particular song.
Did, because I remember like saying like I want the first verse to be no drums, just acoustic and singing. And then I wanted to come in where, that boom, that next one. He's like, man, are you guys okay if I write to that? I'm like, yeah, sure. That's great. Get involved, So yeah.
Cool. we like Steve Sambursky. He had this real deep voice, and he'd smoke electronic cigarettes while we were in there, and he was trying to quit smoking. And he had a little boy, he called his boy Little Man, so he was a character.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time being in there, I forgot about that. That wasn't. If I have to remember, Dwight, what was your favorite song? Was it?
I don't know if I had a favorite one, but I liked.
Ahmadinejad.
Yeah.
I swear that was
probably my. Just listened to that the other day.
Yeah, I swear you loved that one. That was like your jam.
Yeah, we wrote a song about Ahmadinejad with an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And then the lyric was, can't you beat them with your Islam? Yeah, yeah, I mean, some of those. I think my favorite Septuagint song was probably "Change." There was a song Erik wrote called "Change."
That was a really good one.
Yeah, I thought that would help people. That song. That's why I liked it.
Yeah. Or I Know I Need to Pray is a huge one. I love that one.
Yeah.
You like that one? I didn't know you liked it.
Oh, absolutely. That when songs get stuck in my head, like that is one of them for sure. I know I need to pray. As soon as I remember we wrote our first song, what is that? His Blood Has, and when you hit that, when you sing those first notes with those chords, I was like, yes, this is gonna be great. Well,
see how generous Erik is. I mean, he made me. If there's any good singing on there, it's because Erik coaxed me, encouraged me, and he'd tell me, "You can do it," because I didn't like the sound of my own voice, and but he just kept pushing me, and encouraging me. So,
I mean, I couldn't see myself having anyone else like with that. His voice was so great for the music, and he was a great singer. Don't let him, God the glory, but like he was, he gets down on himself, but he was great. I love.
But Erik's voice is on a couple of those tracks too. We got Erik to sing on a couple of them.
A little bit of backup, a little bit of that. I even think we had a song too where you spoke in tongues, which was so awesome.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it freaked Steve out when he was recording that.
Yeah, it did. And I'm like, I decided you need to speak tongues at this part. Let's do it right here, like it was
awesome. And then we did bring a lady who passed away here a few years ago named Marge Franklin to sing. She had this beautiful voice, and Erik wrote a disco song that just is totally out of character for us.
Oh man, that was such like a left ball, but I love that track too. Like it was like.
She came in and she just really did a good job. So her name was Marge Franklin, and she passed away of Lou Gehrig's disease here about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, the music and I mean, I still love listening to it to this day. You guys did play some shows, right?
We really needed management, marketer. I mean, I tried to do the best I could, but I didn't get us any good bookings. We went to some small venues, and
they were fun.
They were fun. But it was pretty sparse. It wasn't really. We went to a Methodist church, and I think those people were totally in shock.
Yeah, that one I forgot to tell you, because we were talking about the coffee shop one in Iowa before we got on here too. And we drove across to Iowa and played in that coffee shop, I think it was. And
yeah, well, I think they were in shock too.
A lot of people.
We did a couple of park concerts, I recall, and
yeah, I remember having that one in Delavan that we played too.
We had a company that wanted to sign us, but it was such a bad deal that it would have ruined us. But
yeah, it was. I remember which song it was. I can't remember what song, but I was like, really? That's the song they liked, Because I have my favorites, not favorites, but the lyrics were really good, and how Dwight sang it was. But I don't think my guitaring was the best in that, or like the best written. But I was like, oh, all right, So
but it was about what we did. It was about a 2-year experience, right, Erik? About 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so you had the one album, right? Blood and Water for Dry Ground, I think.
Yeah.
Is what that one was called.
Yeah.
And then Erik, you were saying earlier you guys had some other songs too. Like you almost had enough for a second album.
We had like 7 tracks for a second one, and that personally, and I thought the first album was really good, but then I think the second was going to turn out even better, because
I was going to say, if I was to pick out, and I was just thinking, I said the word that song "Change." I personally liked "The Blinding Light."
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we could have done a better job recording that, but
yeah, that one turned out rough, that recording. But that was Damascus. That was with Jesus when he saw Saul, and then he was like, "Wow, the Spirit's coming with me." And he's talking about going to Damascus in that song. That was "Blinding Light," wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
And then the one on the Beatitudes. I like that one too. But I thought Erik played such a good part on that one.
Yeah, we because like even I'll say it again, we had that because we had 2 acoustics on, not like our Vines had Tender Grapes. We had another acoustic one that was really good, and that was going to be on the second album. Plus that one with the marching feet. Oh, that was song.
that was all Erik. That one, he stretched me on that one, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and then we had the end. And that's why that you had that kind of like that Jim Morrison vibe on that song, and we had about 7 tracks, and there was a lot of them like on that one that was great. Like "Blinding Light" would have been on that album, and those acoustics on that "Marching Feet" one. That would have been really, really good too.
I think that would have appealed to the metal crowd. To be honest with you, I think they would have liked that
more so. Yeah, because even the first one was really good because you had Emmanuel. That was a good one. Christmas song one. That was probably like a really.
I didn't know you liked that one.
Huh?
I didn't know you liked that one.
Yeah, that one was good. I liked all of them. The Lord made them all with us, so they're all good. I'm more that I favor than others, but I see this how if I didn't probably like it, I probably wouldn't have wrote it. Just being funny.
Wasn't that the truth? I mean,
yeah, honestly, like when it came to me, so.
So these days, right? If somebody was interested in listening to the Septuagint music, what's the best way?
I did. I actually uploaded a lot of those songs to a podcasting site because I use them for witnessing to this day. So if anybody's interested, I'll post all those songs on my Facebook page. And you can go to 153online.com, and I'll post all those Septuagint songs up there. I haven't got them all up there, but if they're interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do the same with the 153 Great Fish, the website. And,
why don't you have them come to 153greatfish.com because that's a website, not my Facebook page. So
fantastic. And we'll make sure we'll point them to the podcast. And so if anybody's interested in listening and rocking out with Jesus, this is the way to go. These guys it's some awesome God-inspired stuff, that's for sure. So I guess for as we wrap up here, what would Erik, what did you take away from from the experience of being in the band? It would be kind of the one takeaway you'd like to pass on to people from what you guys did.
For being a young man in the Lord and still trying to get my roots grabbed into God and His gospel and everything else, the band really helped out with, and Dwight and his discipleship helped me just get closer to God. Like I said, probably kept me stuck in the faith and kept going to church. And if one of the reasons that if he did, which he said he did, which I believe him, obviously, to help me out, get closer to God, it worked. And I stuck in, and that really helped me out. And we had a great friendship forever. And still living to God this day. And I'm going to keep doing it till the end. So.
I mean,
Praise Jesus.
from my point of view, those songs were sort of timeless. And I've used them to witness to my relatives and my friends. So they've, it wasn't a big commercial success or anything like that, but it has helped others come into the faith. And then they hear Erik playing that guitar, they love that.
Yeah, he can sure shred, right? That's the word.
He gets it on.
Glory to God.
Yeah, glory to God. Excellent. Yeah, no, I think you guys definitely hit the point. So many things with God. It's about our our attitude and our motivation, not the ultimate, say physical success or commercial success. It's about are we willing to be obedient to what He has us to do, and for the ultimate goal of growing the kingdom. So definitely appreciate all you guys have done for that, and thank you for taking the time with us today. To relive Septuagint, the band, and we'll definitely get the link posted so folks that are interested can listen to it.
You should put the link. You can put the link in the bottom of the YouTube notes so they can click on it.
We'll do. It'll definitely be there. So, all right. Well, thanks Dwight. Thanks, Erik. And,
okay.
We will talk with y'all again soon, and I'm gonna just wrap up here with just a plug for our next live stream next Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll continue with our Christian Fundamentals live stream. So join us then, and continue to go out there and grow the kingdom for Jesus. God bless, and we'll talk with you all again soon.